What's up everybody, once again my name is Matt and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. In the previous video we went through the color dungeon and got ourselves the red mail, that gives us bonus attack damage. We also went through the Yarn Desert and got ourselves the Anglerfish key in the episode before that, so now we are all set to take on the next dungeon. So if we just unlock this weird like keyhole in the middle of the world, well check it out. It's going to part this waterfall and open up the way for us, and man, this scene looks really stinking cool on the Switch version. Like, it looked good on the Game Boy version too, don't get me wrong, but like, specifically on the Switch version, it looks pretty awesome. And look at the eyes on that, like, fish, man. It looks so silly. Now, sadly, yeah, we can't just, like, walk into this next dungeon. We have to, like, sort of find our way to the entrance. I believe, like, the owl friend even made mention of, like, jumping down a waterfall to get inside, and we should probably heed his advice, because he's right. The only problem is we need to find an area where we can do that, and honestly, the best place for us to look would be in the mountains. So welcome to Tall Mountain Range. Tall Mountain is probably one of my favorite areas in the game just because the music here is one of like Link's Awakening's two major themes, I guess you could say. Like the first being Battle of the Windfish and the second being Tall Heights. Like those are the two songs that everybody knows from Link's Awakening. There's some like the greatest tunes in this game. Like this game is full of a lot of fantastic music, but those two tracks specifically are like standout. Alright, so there is a heart piece in this cave. I don't believe that was there in the original, so I'm not quite sure how I go about getting that. In fact, this might be another one of those heart pieces where we need to reset the room. Yeah, I didn't think I was going to be able to push that in time. I was hoping maybe I could, but yeah, I kind of thought that cracked floor was going to get me. Alright, yeah, so I think I figured this one out. If we reset that room real quick, we should be able to, push this rock down, and then this one to the left. That way we can just break this crystal and walk right over to that heart piece just like so. Alright, cool, not bad. And I think that might actually fill up. Yeah, another heart container, sweet. Really nice to pick up one of those before we enter the next dungeon. Not that the next dungeon is really that difficult, but still, it's kind of nice that we pick it up anyways. So let's just keep going through the mountain range here. There's really nothing special. We can't get that heart piece yet, but don't worry, we'll be back for it later. We also can't get that chest yet, so again, we'll be back for that later as one. Oh, hang on. I almost forgot about this. I actually pointed this out when we were on the mountaintops before, but yeah, there's a chest over here that we can collect, and inside is another 50 rupees. You're going to want to be collecting rupees since there's a lot of items that we're going to need to buy very, very shortly. And, well, we're kind of strapped for cash right now. Like, we don't have a ton of money, so I might have to grind off screen at some point. But just know that you will need money, so start collecting it. Anyways, there's a guy up there, and it looks like he needs our help, so we should probably find a way to reach him. Thankfully, by going into this cave, we can do just that. I don't know why, but like these cave areas look really, really pretty to me. I think it's just like the water, and oh man, we got a piece of power. All right, that's pretty awesome because I was saying this when we were inside the color dungeon, but pieces of power and your red mail, they stack. So now we're doing like 4 times as much damage as we would normally. And wow, he was like stuck inside the chest there. That was kind of weird. I mean, it kind of stinks because, like, all these enemies die in one hit anyways, but trust me, we're doing 4 times as much damage, guys, and that is pretty dang awesome. Alright, what are you doing all the way up here, man? Yep, Papa got lost, just like he said. Now, I am so famished I can't move. Can you give me some victuals? Sure. Not really sure what that is, but have our pineapple. This pineapple is so delicious, I'm going to eat it right now. Bon appetit. Enjoy, good sir. Glad that we picked that up a couple episodes back. Ah, this wasn't meant to be a reward. Here, take this. It's hibiscus. Well, I guess that's another section of this trade quest down. So just like that, we traded the pineapple for hibiscus. And I actually know someone who wants that hibiscus already. Delicious, yum! I'm filled with energy now. Wow, he ate that whole thing. Jeez, that is crazy. Imagine eating like an entire watermelon. Like, he even ate like the skin and everything. The crunchy part that no one likes. It's pretty gross, my guy. But yeah, like I was saying, there's an animal back in Animal Village that wants that hibiscus. And right over here is the entrance to the next dungeon. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's head inside and take on the level 4 dungeon, I believe? Yeah, Angler's Tunnel. Now, Angler's Tunnel is a pretty easy, simple dungeon. I actually really like sort of how they, I guess, rearrange the music for this particular dungeon because it sounds like so peaceful. And I think it fits with the overall, like, aesthetic and difficulty of this dungeon because this dungeon is not at all difficult. Already we got the compass. You pretty much get all the key items in this dungeon very easily. And whoops, yeah, so that's the thing that you're gonna encounter in this dungeon is just like deeper water. You can walk in the shallow water just fine, but if you walk over the deeper water, yeah, Link, he's gonna drown, so just be very careful of that. Got ourselves our first small key already. Can't really do much with that right now. So I guess we could hold on to that for a little bit longer. Actually, you know what? No, let's just go and use it now. Why not? We can use it to unlock this door. However, we're not really going to be able to do anything with that because, yeah, the door up there is locked as well. But you can see that chest, and that's actually where we're going to be going next. So we're just going to go through here and collect the rest of the key items. The only thing we can't get is the Nightmares key, but that's totally fine because we can get that later on once we get the item from this particular dungeon. So in that chest that I pointed out before is the stone beak, and the hint from this dungeon is pretty important, so I probably will show that off once we actually get to it, but for now, let's just keep going around here. And hey, look at that, another wide open chest, and inside, you can get yourself the dungeon map. So just like that, we got 3 out of the 4 main collectibles, so not too bad, not too bad. And aw man, I jumped a little too short there. Let's try one more time. Ha! It actually made the noise like I fell, but I didn't fall. I got you, game. I tricked you. You thought you had me, but you didn't. I'm actually curious as to why it did that. I guess maybe like I hit jump like as I was on the ledge. Who knows? Anyways, you can blow up that cracked block, and I'm surprised that enemy did not die from that bomb blast, but I guess it was still in the air. Anyways, though, yeah, blowing that up allows you to push that block, and now we can open up this chest and get ourselves another small key. Now, before we head back, there's actually another small key that we can get. Yes, getting so many small keys right at the start here. I like it a lot. So I don't really think they made any major changes to this dungeon when you compare it to like the original Game Boy or Game Boy Color version. I should mention that on the Game Boy version and on the Game Boy Color version, there actually were a couple of minor differences besides like obviously the addition to color and the color dungeon. They actually changed the order of chests a little bit. So on the original like black and white Game Boy version, like maps and the compass and stuff like that, you actually got them later on in the dungeons, whereas on the color version they sort of moved them so that they were more towards the beginning, and obviously this version of the game is based off of the color version of the game, so all those changes are basically in this game as well. But yeah, other than that, I don't think they really added anything new to this dungeon. The only thing that I can think that they changed, and I don't even think this was intentional, is that they upped the difficulty of the mini-boss. And I think that's mainly just due to how another item works. And I'll explain more about that once we actually get to the mini-boss. We cannot get that chest to my left right now, so we'll have to come back for that a little bit later on. Actually, towards the end of the dungeon, we'll have to come back for that one. But don't worry, it'll be worth it. It's not like the most amazing thing in the world, but it does have something we need, so I'll be back for that, of course. And yeah, this guy can hit you through the blocks, but of course you can't hit him through the blocks. That seems fair game. Jeez. Alright, so you guys see that staircase to the right? We can't go down there. We have to like reset the room, that way the block goes back down, and now you have access to the underground area. There's really no point in going down there just yet though, so remember that it's there, because something's gonna happen in this room that sort of eludes you to go down there. And yeah, the key is gonna fall down into that underground area. Sadly, we can't actually get that key yet. You might have noticed that it made a little bit of a splash. That's indicating that it fell underwater. And of course, well, we can't go underwater yet, so I'll have to hold off on that. And I just like bumped my mic. I do apologize if that shows up in the recording. Anyways, here is the stone owl. So let's see what the hint is. The glint of the tile will be your guide. So that's a pretty useful hint, and I'll explain what that means once we actually see what it means. You know, let's just avoid all of these enemies. I really don't want to fight them. It is nice having double damage, but I think like all these enemies would have died in one hit anyway, so yeah, we're not really seeing the advantage of that just yet. Hopefully it'll help out on the mini boss and the main boss, and you'll see just how quickly we can kill those enemies. And oh boy, another fake chest. You got me, game. Ha ha ha. How many times you're gonna pull that same gag? Probably like as many times as it keeps working, because it totally does. So, yeah, these tiles are kind of what that hint was referring to. I actually didn't mean to really walk on that one, but there's another set of tiles you'll see later on. So, got ourselves another small key, and we can actually use this back in the room where we saw that key fall down from above. So, let's make our way back there. But yeah, those tiles aren't like the main set of tiles. You're going to see another set of tiles that pretty much looks identical, and those ones will have like little sparklies around them. Those are the tiles that the owl statue is referring to. I know I probably made like absolutely no sense, but trust me, once you see it, you'll be like, oh, that's what you were talking about. So yeah. Anyways, let's go and take on the mini-boss. So this mini-boss is a lot easier on the Game Boy version. They actually sort of increased the difficulty, and I don't know if it was intentional. So he actually turns around a lot more on the remake than he did on the original. The other change they made is not really due to the fight itself. It's actually due to the way the Pegasus boots work. They take a lot longer to charge up, so like, I don't know, this fight is a lot harder just because the Pegasus boots are, at least in my opinion, harder to control since they do take a lot longer to charge up, and also the ability for you to like change direction on a dime isn't really there anymore. Like on the Game Boy version, if you wanted to stop moving while using your Pegasus boots, you could literally just stop in like one tile. Whereas on the remake, it sort of has a gradual slowdown. And that's enough of a difference to actually increase the difficulty of this fight a lot. Because not only does it make like Link harder to control, it makes just like getting to the boss take a lot longer. Since like really the only thing you have to do in this fight is run up and stab him with your sword in the back. But actually doing that can be a little bit of a hassle just due to how it works. I honestly don't even find that using the Pegasus boots, like when you're going around the corners, like the smaller corners, is really that helpful, just due to the fact that you're gonna have to slow down to stop anyway. So I think it like really takes the same amount of time. The only way that it's beneficial is if, yeah, you can get hit on him like I just did. Otherwise, I normally just like try and stick to the inside edge as much as I possibly can, but it is a little bit hard, and for whatever reason, he does tend to turn around a lot more. Like, I'm not really sure exactly if something I do causes it, but I think if you try to like charge at him before he's really committed to going in a certain direction, he will turn around just like that. So try and be a little bit careful. But man, I'm having like such a hard, okay, I don't even know why he turned around there. I actually could not tell you. But yeah, I'm having like kind of a hard time just like getting to him. And that's really what I mean about like this boss being hard, because there's otherwise like no way that you could ever take damage. Although every time you run into him, you do tend to take damage. Again, I think that's just like Grezzo not really fixing the hitboxes in this game. For as good as this remake is, it does have some really minor annoying flaws. Nothing like completely game-breaking, I would say, but there are things that I would like to see fixed in a patch, like for instance the hitboxes or the frame rate. Although seeing as how we still have yet to get a patch and the game's been out for what, almost like, I want to say a month now, but I feel like that's not right. Maybe like a couple weeks, like 2 weeks. But either way, seeing as how we haven't had a patch yet, I really don't think we're gonna get one, which is unfortunate, because I feel like with maybe 1 or 2 patches, this game could go from like really good to great. Finally, we are done. Oh, that took a lot of hits, man. Like, even with our double damage red mail, it still took a while to take down that boss. But finally, we are done, and we can just get back to the dungeon. Like, geez, man. There's really not a whole lot left, thankfully. So yeah, just pull that to like make the blocks spread apart. Then you can walk right through and check it out. There's a very special chest in this room, because inside we're gonna get the flippers. That's right. Now we can finally swim in those deeper parts of water. You can also dive down. Also, here are the actual tiles that I was talking about. Let me actually get rid of all these enemies first real quick. You'll see there's that like weird sparkle thing. So it's bottom, up, up, bottom, middle. Remember that pattern because it's going to be important later on. I think that pattern is specific to your game, so you might have a different pattern than I have it. So we're going to take that pattern that we just hopefully memorized or wrote down if you're me, and come over to these panels and basically repeat it on these exact same ones, since that's going to unlock the way, well, to the final major collectible of this dungeon, which of course is going to be the Nightmares Key. So, bam, look at that. You light all those panels up, and an underground entrance appears. Ooh, scary. I mean, we are in October now. It's time for some scary games, or scary moments in games. I don't know. There's really no scary moments in Link's Awakening, though, so it's probably not gonna happen. I actually did have, like, a few videos planned for October that I wanted to make. I'm not sure if I'll have time to make them, but, I might give it a shot. They revolved around, you know, scary, Halloween-y topics, so we'll see what happens. Alright. After all that time, inside this chest we have ourselves the Nightmares Key. And essentially, we are done with this dungeon. There's just a little bit of backtracking and one more small key that we need to collect, but otherwise, yeah, we've completed the Angler's Tunnel. Like I said, not a very long and not a very difficult dungeon, so you should get through here no problem. The only thing that might set you back is just the mini-boss. So our first of backtracking chests that we need to collect is this one, and it contains 50 rupees. Spoilers, the other chest also contains 50 rupees, so yeah, if for whatever reason you have like a ton of money, I suppose you can skip those two chests. However, there is one thing you can't skip, and that is the key that fell down a little while ago. So let's just head inside this underground segment. And you'll notice that right over here, yeah, there's a key sitting on the bottom of this lake. So let's just pick that up, and now we are good to go. So like I said, if you have a ton of rupees for whatever reason, you can go directly to the boss now. If not, we're gonna take like, I don't know, maybe 30 seconds and go grab another chest for 50 more rupees, and then we will be on our way. So don't you worry, it's not gonna take us any time at all. In fact, I believe it's yeah, right across this gap. Sweet, nailed it. And of course, man, these Zols are always in my way. It's like, come on, can you guys just like, please get out of the way? I'm just trying to stay healthy, and hey, a fairy. All right, well, that was perfect. So now we're at full HP, and we got the final 50 rupee backtracking chest. We're all set to take on this boss and get out of here. Now, if you guys thought, man, this dungeon was easy, hopefully the boss will be a challenge, well, I've got bad news for you. The boss is, probably one of the easiest bosses in Link's Awakening. It's actually not hard at all, unless they changed it on the remake, which they might have, but, yeah, it'll probably just die really quick. And excuse me, buddy, I'm just trying to get through here. Jeez, you ruined my full HP, but thankfully, we got it right back. So, let's unlock that block. Head down through this small little 2D section with these cheeps, another Mario enemy for us to defeat. Thankfully, we can use our sword underwater. By the way, if you actually point the control stick down, you'll swing your sword down. It's very, very helpful. Just keep that in mind as you're like swimming through the water. So that'll help you out a lot, both in like any 2D sections and in the boss. And speaking of the boss, well, there is the boss door. We finally made it after all that time. Oh yes, we got ourselves a piece of power right before the boss. Oh man, that is perfect. I mean, I knew this boss was gonna be easy, but now with this piece of power, oh, we got this in the bag. Ooh, scary. Bloop bloop glub glub, ooh, food bloop glub. So this is the Anglerfish. I really don't know what to say about this fight. All you really have to do is just like hit the glowing orb that's like dangling in front of him. That's all there is to it. I guess they did change this a little bit on the remake because he is swimming back and forth, whereas on the remake he was mostly stationary. So yeah, this really isn't that much harder, though. He's not even really attacking us. Occasionally he will charge at you, and yeah, sometimes he causes like other fish to, oh hey, wait, the boss music just started and he's already dead. So I guess maybe like I triggered the real fight, but then also like killed him instantly. I don't know, whatever. Either way, yeah, he died in like 2 seconds. Way easier than the freaking mini boss of this dungeon, but you know what? Hey, I'll take it either way. We are done. Another dungeon in the bag, y'all. That is 4 already we've completed, plus the color dungeon. I feel like this game is just like blazing past us, but hey, that's not a bad thing. So let's get ourselves the next instrument, which is the surf harp. Bay. Your road goes into the bay. Alright, and with that, we're done with another dungeon, so, you know what, I think that's a good place to end off this video. If you guys enjoyed this part, a like rating would be greatly appreciated. If you want to see more, consider subscribing. But once again, guys, my name is Matt. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.